Hello, Doug Lover. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another Saro Dog Training weekly live session. It's actually bi-weekly now. I had to edit that. Um, Hope you're doing well. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for everybody to join in and we'll get started. And in this live video, excuse me, I'm going to talk about the secrets to training the perfect dog. And I'm going to start with sharing with you the 3 secrets that will help you to have the perfect dog, especially if you're training it. And also, I'm going to answer your dog related questions. So feel free to ask your questions in the chat area and mention your dog's age and breed as well as you're asking your question. That makes me understand the question a little bit better as well. So if you have any questions, leave those questions in the chat area, type them in, and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. So you will get also notified. Hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or I post a new video. On every week, I post a new video. And starting this week, I'll be posting a new video on Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll be going live on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 lives weekly, and a new video on Sundays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be posting this information in the community area of the channel so you get notified as well, so you know the schedule. And I'll post it everywhere as well. This week's video is an interesting one. I asked you, my viewers, what topic did you want me to make a video about? And most of you asked me about puppy biting. So I'm working on this video and it's going to be released on Sunday. I'm still editing and working on it. So that's said, done as well. So the next thing that I wanted to mention was what happens usually at the end of the live sessions. For instance, this one, the last second just before I say goodbye to everybody, somebody asks a question. The unfortunate part is that I can't see that question anymore. And what happens is, what you need to do is go to my video, the same video that is going to be replayed, and go to comments area and ask questions there as well. So if I don't get to answer your question here live, make sure that you go to comments area of the video and ask your questions there. You can ask your question in any comments area of any of my videos, actually. And the next thing that I wanted to mention is enter to win a free 20-minute virtual consultation with me. The information is in the description area. You can find out all about it. I want to give you an opportunity to talk to me privately in person to understand what is going on with your dog. So I'm giving away 20 minutes of my time to talk to you. So if you want to be one of those who wants to learn and understand the problem, that the issue that you're having with your dog or your puppy, you can enter to win 20 minutes free consultation, virtual consultation using Zoom. So let's talk about what are the 3 secrets of training a perfect dog. So number 1, when it comes to, in general, having a dog and training your dog, what I want you to have in your mind is, what is it that you really want? What is it that you really need, right? You have to know exactly what you want. Do you want your dog to just stop this behavior, or you want your dog to behave properly in general. What is it that you want? You have to make sure that you know exactly what you want. You can't just have a wish and, in a way, and have a cake and eat it too. You have to know exactly what you want. That's one of the parts of training dogs. One of parts of my job as a dog trainer and a coach is to inform and educate dog owners, first of all, to understand that it's not only that we want to just fix this one problem. We want to overall improve our dog's life. We want to create and help our dog to become a healthy, happy, well behaved dog. And the way you do it is by knowing exactly what you want in your life, in your general life. It's not only with your dog. You have to be a little bit connected to your inner, deeper self to learn and understand exactly what do you want from your life. What do you want from your dog? What is the reason that you have a dog? What is the purpose of owning a dog? What is the purpose of your dog in your life? If you understand this and if you focus on that rather than just dealing with certain issue that you're having, one problem here, a little bit problem over there, maybe later on you have to deal with the other problem, maybe a few weeks from now you have to another behavior develops. Understanding what you want from your dog will give you the opportunity to learn that actually you have to improve your dog's life in general. It's not just to fix one problem. So that's number one, for you to understand exactly what you want from your dog and focus on that. Number two reason is to invest time in your training. You see, dogs automatically they don't come trained. They're not auto trained. They're not um, designed or bred to give you exactly what you want. You have to create the dog that you want. Everybody has a different uh, picture of their dog. Everybody has a different wishes and wants from their dog. So you have to, again, first of all, understanding number one, what you want from your dog. Number two, the wishes and the wants that you want from your dog, you have to start implementing it in your dog. You have to train your dog. You have to work with your dog. You have to know what to do. So the way you do that is by investing time. You know what I mean? Investing at least 15 minutes, half an hour for a time, a certain time. I would say 6 months is a realistic way of looking at it. Maybe even a year. It's realistic way of looking at what you can do to create the dog that you wish, the dog that you want. It takes time to work with the dog and teach and give the information that it needs to become what you want. Dogs come with um, some programs already programmed in there. It's like, you get your computer. Let's say I'm comparing it to a computer. You get your computer. The engine is there. You can run it. But if you want to make your own computer that runs, for example, you may be liking to run Chrome instead of Firefox or Internet Explorer. So you run Chrome in your computer. You like to use Windows Mail instead of Outlook. So you customize what you want. You run the programs that you want in your computer. So dogs are like that. They come pre meditated, pre programmed to live with humans, but each human as an individual is different than other. So each human wants different thing from their dog, and each dog can provide different things to their human. So, for example, an active person needs to think about getting an active dog. A person who is calm, relaxed, doesn't do much activities, doesn't go for running and jogging and things like that, you can't get an active dog. So certain models, certain breeds, certain dogs are ideal for certain people, and certain people are ideal for certain dogs. So you have to figure that out as well and invest the time to create the dog that you want. So what that means is investing certain period of time, let's say 6 months to a year, and you say every day or every other day, I'm going to work on my dog and train my dog. This is what I want. So in the beginning, number one, this is what I want. I want my dog to do agility. I want my dog to sleep at home and doesn't bother me at all. I want my dog to do some activities with me, half an hour maximum, an hour a day, activities with me, and then leave me alone. Or I want my dog to help me with my gardening, so I need a dog who can dig dirt in the garden. So, first of all, figure out what you want from your dog. What is it, the purpose of having a dog in your life? And then you invest the time to train and teach your dog to become the dog that you want. So if you want your dog to dig a hole in the garden, so you invest every day half an hour to teach your dog to dig a hole, exactly the hole that you want it to dig, exactly the same size and height. You work with your dog. If you want your dog to do agility, you work on training and building that ability for your dog to know exactly how to run an agility course, for example. So to run an agility course, you have to start from beginners, basic obedience, and then go to intermediate obedience, and then train your dog to advanced level obedience, and then go to agility. And then you go through certain classes, practices at home, in the classroom, in the center. You practice agility to the point that you start going to fun fairs, fun practice challenges that agility groups usually do put together, and they practice in a fun form, but they train and practice. And then you go to actual agility, uh, what do you call agility runs, right? You compete in agility courses and do all that. So if that's the goal, you have to work. So let's say this dog that you want, obviously you want to get a dog who has the ability to run an agility course. I would go with something like working breed, border collie or something like that, blue heeler or something like that. So you have to be an active dog. You want that. I want to do agility. That's why I'm getting this dog. You have to, for a year or year and a half, you have to train your dog every day, agility, obedience, agility. And now the third step that you get the best trained dog is the plan. What is the plan? So you want a dog, for instance, you want a dog who can dig a hole or do agility or do scent job or whatever, right? Or just lie down at home, right? So what is the plan? You have to come up with a plan. The plan is to start doing what you need to do right now, right? What the plan should be, how can I make this happen, right? So in this day and age, we have many options. In this day and age, we can go to training classes. We can hire a private trainer, dog trainer, to come and help us at home. We can train our dogs online, virtually, online courses. We can read books. We can do this. We can do that. There's so many options. Now, when we have too many options, we get confused and we don't do what we need to do. We actually stop what you call, how do you call it? I'm having a hard time pronouncing this word. Pro, proxanit, pro, prox. I can't even say it now. I can't remember. Proxanitate. I know the word, but I can't say it now. We say, okay, maybe later. We'll do it later. I can't do it now. I need to focus on this instead of that, right? So when you don't do it, what happens? Your dog doesn't change, doesn't become the dog that you want. Remember, the step one is wanting what you want from your dog. Step two is working and investing time to do it. Number three is planning it, putting it into action, right? But if you don't do it, your dog doesn't become the dog that you want, that you wished for. It doesn't automatically become the dog that you want. It doesn't change. It doesn't improve. It doesn't on its own. People say it will grow out of it. No, they get worse. They get worse. They get to the point that they become stressed, anxious, and they start developing health issues, internal health issues, and you have a dog now who not only has health issues, it has behavioral issues, and you're going to have to deal with it. Your dreams are shattered. You don't know what to do now. There are these options. You have to go to a class or hire a professional dog trainer to come and help you. Do I do this? Do I do that? You get confused. So here's solutions. Okay. If you have a puppy, start working on your puppy and training, the puppy level training. The best way of puppy training this day and age, especially with COVID-19 going on, is online training. Especially, I'm not trying to promote my online course or anything. It's just that I want you to know that there are options, right? And this is what you need to do, right? So puppy training, even though there is a puppy training courses, classes that you can take, I don't suggest you to do that. Puppy training classes in general are waste of money and time. Puppy classes, when you go to a puppy class, you're just distracted with puppies, cute puppies in the classroom. You don't get the benefits that you need to get. You hear, you forget in a minute. You hear what the instructor is telling you, you forget in a minute. You can't put the things that even you're learning in the classroom into action. So I don't suggest puppy training classes for first time. So I suggest you to take an online course. For example, this one. I have an online course, Puppy Training 101 is very popular now. I have been getting a lot of students out of this course, and they are having great results. So you join a puppy training course. Yeah, for instance, you have 15 days to try it out. If you don't like it, you get your money back 100%. There are lots of content in this course, right? I don't want to overwhelm you, but we talk about everything, anything that you need to know about puppies needs, how to communicate to your puppy, diet for dogs, environmental toxins, common puppy issues. You always ask me these questions: barking, house training, crate training, biting and nipping, barking, jumping, all kinds of behavioral issues that we deal with. Puppy training obedience, we practice or we learn puppy basic obedience training, puppy leash walking. You're going to see the results in 2 months. What happens when you train your puppy? There are games, bonus games that you can play with your puppy. All kinds of plans and programs for you to get started on building that knowledge that you need to And then once you have this knowledge, then later on you can join a puppy class if you want, the actual puppy class. But for now, you need to get educated. For now, you have to know what you need to do first, and then get involved with puppy class. It's like if you want to drive, you can't just all of a sudden go to driving test and test the run the driving test. You have to learn first how to drive the car. You ask your friends, family members to teach you how to drive it. Once you get a little bit of knowledge and confidence in driving, then you go and do a test. And then you go and actually start driving on the roads. So this is the same thing. You get your information that you need to first, and then you go to puppy class. The same thing applies to obedience courses. If you have an adult dog and you want to go to obedience class, again, start online. In this day and age, we have the opportunity to learn everything that we need to learn, and everything that we need to know first using internet. It's there. It's available for you to get informed, pack yourself with information, and then go in the real life scenarios, right? So this is my obedience class, for instance, obedience course that I have. This is for dogs 8 months and older. So puppies, you start with puppy training up to 8 months, and then 8 months and older, you start training your puppy 8 months and older using this course, which is naked dog training. I call it naked dog training because we don't use anything. Um, we don't use anything to train the dog. We use play and praise. We don't use food, treats, aversive tools like shock collars, prong collars, choke chain collars. We don't use force. We don't use domination. We don't use being alpha to train the dog. We use play and praise to reward the dog and train the dog. So here's an option as well. Now, if you have issues, let's say you have an issue, your puppy or your dog is having a hard time walking on a leash, there's a leash walking solution online course as well. So I have a lot of content here as well for you to learn how to improve the walk itself. So there are options for you to learn. So that's what I'm saying. My main goal of bringing this up for you is to understand, to have a plan. You need to have a plan. To have a plan of what I'm supposed to do now, right now. I can't wait another week. I shouldn't wait another day or week. I can do everything that I need to do right now. That's the plan. Okay. So your plan to get started, it starts by using the internet to gather information, get to know exactly what you're supposed to do, create that plan, work on it, and get results. So if you wait, as I said, your dog is not going to get better. If you wait, your dog is not going to grow out of this behavior that it has. Behaviors, all these behaviors that are developing and you're struggling with, are because you're not training your dog, because you don't have a plan. You don't know what you're supposed to do. What your dog also doesn't know what is its role in your life. It doesn't know what it's supposed to do. Why am I doing and living with this human? They don't know. You have to teach your dog what their purpose of life is. The purpose of having your dog with you. You have to have the purpose, the reason why you have your dog as well, and work to get to that goal of creating that purpose for your dog, and then having a plan to work towards it. Having a plan is doing what you have to do right now without getting confused, without getting stressed of there is this, there is that, there is this option, there's that option, there's this, I can go there, I can pay $20 to this trainer, he or she will come and teach me this. First of all, don't stop. Do something. Do something now. Make that choice and do it now. If you want to join my online courses, do it now. If you don't want to do that, do something else. Do something. Move and start implementing a plan to improve your dog's life. So those are the 3 steps of having the secret to having and training the perfect dog. Hope that made sense. That was my opening speech in a way. I'm going to start answering some questions. And meanwhile, again, if you have any questions, leave those questions in the comments area, in the chat area, and I'll answer them right away. We have Emma Sparks. How do I get my dog to stop chasing the cat? By the way, when you're asking your question, can I ask you to also mention your dog's breed and age as well? It helps me to give you a better answer as well. So, for instance, I don't know the age of this dog. Is it a puppy or an adult dog chasing a cat? I'm assuming it's a puppy. Puppies usually do behaviors like this. Yes, add that part as well, your dog's age and breed. So I'm assuming it's a puppy and chasing the cat. So what happens is basically your dog is desperate for interaction. Dogs are social animals. They want to interact with other creatures. We have bred them, humans have bred them to interact with us, but because they're social animals, they can interact with our other animals as well. You've seen the videos of dogs interacting with cats and giraffes and monkeys and all kinds of other breeds, right? Other animals. So they are social animals. So the reason your dog is chasing the cat is first of all, needing interaction. 2, needs a form of physical and mental stimulation. Okay, so I don't know if your cat is enjoying that or not, but if your cat obviously is not enjoying, that's why you're asking this question. But if your cat is not enjoying that interaction and that play and being chased, then you want to provide your dog an opportunity to have puppy or dog friends to go and play with them and interact with them. You could play with your dog. You could ask your neighbors dogs to play with your dog. You can have a puppy meeting and allow your puppy to play with other puppies and other dogs. You can take it to the park. You can do some training with your dog. Needs additional or needs more of what you're offering at the moment: mental and physical stimulation and interactions. Make sense? That's the reason. We have Daniela A in the house. Welcome everybody to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. Daniela is asking, we give our puppy 30 minutes a day for him to play and do whatever he wants. The rest of the day and night, he leaves us alone. That is great. That's, that is a dream puppy. Wow, you're lucky. 30 minutes is good. My Annie, she's about 6 months old now. Yeah, that's what she needs. She needs half an hour of good play, good activity. And throughout the day, I offer her, a lot of mental stimulation. I involve her with everything that I do, most of the things that I do. If I'm cooking in the kitchen, she's watching me cooking, for instance. If I'm working in the office, she's sitting by my chair, my desk, and on the chair and watching me or sleeping. Or when I go for a walk, I take her with me. So I involved her as much as I can so to create that stimulation and mental, physical stimulation. Uh, Daniela, you are one of the lucky ones. Me too, but not everybody is that lucky. Elizabeth Caruso is in the house. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Hi, give. Okay, started giving my 10-month-old mini poodle run of the downstairs living room and dining. I'm guessing you just got your puppy, but you know, giving more and more space to the puppy for throughout the day is kind of overwhelming for puppies, and in general they get overwhelmed and stressed when you give them too much space and freedom. In our hearts and in our soul and in our minds, we think that we are doing the good thing and we are offering freedom, happiness, joy to our puppy. But the opposite happens when we do that. When we give too much freedom, it stresses our puppy. So um, I would suggest, if you're going to give the run of the downstairs area, do it for a short time and be supervising it. So your puppy doesn't get into trouble and also doesn't get to that level that gets overwhelmed and causes trouble. That's important to understand too. So it's up to you. If you feel that your puppy is doing well, it's not stressed, go ahead. Do whatever it makes them feel good. Daniela saying very true. Of course, yes. Elizabeth Curse, I want to give my mini poodle a run up the downstairs, but all he does is tear around, pulling things off tables. Oh, here's a follow up. Um, Pulling things off tables, squeezing under the couches, and knocking things over, even though I am engaging with him. So I was just saying, yeah, right? I hope you saw my correction. Yes, I saw it. I see it now. Um, that's what I was saying. If you give too much freedom to a puppy, that's what's going to happen. They get overwhelmed. It's like putting a kid in a candy store and expect the kid not to get tempted to eat the candies, right? You can't give the candy store to puppy and say, just stay calm, don't do anything, right? They will do things that are going to drive you crazy, and that is the reason why I don't suggest giving the whole freedom of the house. You don't want to let your puppy to have that freedom in a way that it stresses it, right? Uh, we think too much space is good for our puppy, but we don't realize that it's not what we think it is. Humans. Uh, I'm gonna share with you a video I want you to watch in the chat area. I'm gonna call it "Freedom to the Puppy." In human mindset, the bigger the better. The more space we have, the better, right? But actually, when I think about having a big space, let's say if I'm thinking of getting a house and I'm saying, okay, big house, big yard, the first thing that it comes to my mind is how am I going to clean this place? How am I going to take care of the yard this big? It already stresses me out, right? Even though having a big space is a good thing in my mind, but I'm thinking, oh, it's stressful. I don't want to take the whole weekend to clean the house, to do the yard. So I need a smaller place that I can manage and smaller yard that I can manage. So that's the thinking. Dogs think that way too. If you give them too much space, they say, "Oh, this is too much space. Oh, how I can run forever," which is fun. But when they run, they pull up, damage the table, knock things over, and cause a lot of damage. And then you say, why? And then you start punishing your puppy, and your puppy doesn't know why he's being punished, doesn't understand it. So to reduce the stress from both sides, you and your dog, your puppies, I offer you the option of don't give too much freedom, just give a little bit of freedom, create a safe area in the house, get those expense, create an area that your puppy is safe to be and playing, and let it play in that area. Later on, when they're older and then they can manage and control themselves, then you can give the freedom of the house. But for now, I suggest you to reduce it. Avijit, when I outing with my dog, every time she eating stone leaf and etc., and I'm doing properly down deworming, is there any issue with my dog? My dog, age 5 months old. Please suggest me. Um, Puppies, when they go for a walk, I call it exploration. They are exploring. They're puppies, and everything in the world, in their environment, is new and it's interesting. So they want to explore. So that's why they put things in their mouth, because that's how they figure out if it's edible, first of all, or not. They first put in their mouth and figure out if it's edible or not. That's how they learn. Second of all, that's one of their senses that is very active and very, uh, in a way, beneficial for them to use their mouth to sense and figure things out. Uh, like we have hands, we touch things and we learn things if they're hot, cold, things like that. Puppies usually put things in their mouth. So I would say, they can put things in their mouth as long as they are safe. If you see that your puppy is putting stuff that is unsafe in their mouth and they're trying to eat, yes, that's a problem. But allow your puppy to experience things and explore. Deworming it's one of the things that you have to do anyways with a puppy. They are born most of the time with worms. Their mummies give them already. So deworming has to be done. But if it's not dangerous object that they're putting in their mouth, I wouldn't worry. If it's a leaf, if it's a rock, a piece of rock here and there, if it come out, it'll come out. If it's a stick and things like that, paper, I wouldn't worry. But if you're taking your puppy in an environment that there are like spices and I don't know, dangerous chemicals and dangerous objects, then I wouldn't first of all take the puppy there in those environments, and second of all, if I'm going to take it, I'll be cautious. I'll be careful um, not to get things in their mouth. So yeah, 5 months old, it's still in explorer mode. Have patience. It'll not that it will grow out of it, but you gotta remember we talked about in the beginning of the video. You gotta have a plan to work on creating a training session, training plan with your puppy, so you will get the results that you want. Emma Sparks, my dog keeps sneezing. What do I do? Sneezing in this weather and this season, it's normal. Just let it go. If it's too much, if it's annoying your dog, then I would suggest, number one suggestion that I have when it comes to sneezing is changing your dog's diet. I'm guessing you're feeding your dog kibble or dry food, I would remove that diet completely. I'll start feeding fresh, clean food, a raw diet. Believe it or not, that will help. Um, the reason dogs develop allergies and sneezing, especially, is due to their food. These foods, kibble and dry food, they have lots of toxins and lots of chemicals in it, and they're very highly processed foods, which they, when they eat, it helps their body to weaken, get weak, and all the protections the body needs to protect itself from seasonal allergies or food allergies or this and that weakens. So therefore, they can't defend themselves. Your dog's health um, level lowers. So when you start feeding fresh food, raw diet, the immune system starts improving, and they become stronger and healthier, where the body can defend situations like this. Great question. Next question is from Sam. How do you build a reliable recall for your dog? Well, this is one of those things that you have to work on it. It happens. It happens in stages. Stage one is teaching your puppy or dog the basics. Stage two is understanding that your dog cannot be off leashed yet. Most dog owners, they off leash their dog too soon, too early, when the puppy or the dog is not ready to be off leashed. Again, it's an emotional thing. We think, okay, if I off leash my dog, it'll have fun, it'll be better for it, it'll be much more happier if I off leash my dog. But we don't realize that we're thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about the dog. A dog, to be off leash, has to be ready. If your dog is not coming to you when you're calling it, that's a signal. That's a sign that your dog was not ready to be off leash, first of all. Second of all, it's not off leash trained. Second of all, third, you need to start working on the recall command. So the way you do it is by working on it, by training, and again, going back to basics, and learning what you need to do, and include recall command in there too. So I'm going to add a video link in the chat area. I call it recall command. Watch that video, will give you some ideas as well how to get started on improving the recall with your dog. It's a command that you need to work on at least for 6 months to a year to improve it, and then off leash your dog. Sam, how do I build a reliable recall for my 5-month-old mini poodle? We are practicing, but when he has other distraction, he doesn't always come and just ignores me. I encourage him with playing top. Yeah, that's the thing. I was just talking about it. 5-month-old puppy is not ready to be off leashed yet. You don't off leash a puppy until they're at least a year old, right? Or you have worked on the recall command or leash training for a year until you off leash it. So here are the stages that you go. You start with on leash, on a short leash, 4 to 6 foot leash. You work with your dog to walk nicely with you, listen to you, and then you go to next level. Let's say after 4 months, 3-4 months, 5 months, you go to the next level, which is on a long leash, and you start going from 6 to 35 feet leash. So every week or every few weeks, you start extending this leash, going from 6 foot to 8 foot, 12 foot, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And it keeps extending this leash. You just whenever you have a leash, you just tie it. That's the 20 feet mark, and you know that next week's goal is to get there. So you work on it for another 5 to 6 weeks or months, few months, until you get to that 35-foot leash goal. And if your dog is walking and listening to you 100% on a 35-foot leash, which means your puppy is dragging the leash. You're not holding on the leash, it's dragging the leash, and it's nicely walking. You're saying it come, and it comes and listen nicely walking by you and all that. If you have that 100% control, then you off leash it. If you don't, you keep it on leash, on a long leash, as long as it takes. Okay, so watch that video as well that I just shared on the chat area, how to off leash your puppy, your dog, and learn more about it. Emma Sparks, thank you. My dog is Jack Russell Cross puppy, and the cat chases the dog to then she meow, meow, and we have to shout to get the puppy to listen to us. So the Jack Russell Cross, oh, they're funny dogs. Um, you see, so the cat is telling the dog, move away, don't bother me, and the puppy is interpreting it as a play session, right? So yes, give your puppy an opportunity to play with other dogs rather than the cat. Christine Ramos is in the house. Thank you for being here. Welcome, Christine. Christian. I believe you're a first timer. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. And everybody, please make sure that you have hit the like button right now. If you like what you're getting in this live session, if you like the content that I'm providing for you, please give it a like. Don't forget to give it a like. The more likes this video gets, the better my credit rises in the YouTube algorithm, and it tells people that this video rocks, and I can help other dog lovers like you to become educated dog lovers. So make sure to hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well. And when it asks you, say all notifications, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. That would be really appreciated. Want to see those likes going up. So it's gone a little bit up, but let's try to give those like buttons up. Keep them going. My puppy is high energy dog. When I exercise him, gets to a point that he starts to act crazy, like crazy. And am I giving him too much exercise? I do not believe in high energy dog. That's a myth. Dogs are all, they're all kind of the same level. It's life that makes them to become either high energy or low energy dog. What I mean by life is what you do or you don't do with your puppy or your dog that it makes it to become high energy or low energy. If you take it for 2-3 hours of walks every day, your dog is going to be a high energy dog. It's going to be feeding off that exercise, 3 hours of exercise there daily, and it'll give you the high energy behavior of dog. But if you just take your dog, let's say for half an hour a day, your dog will give you energy of half an hour a day, right? So it all depends on what you offer for your puppy. If you're going to exercise your dog, I suggest you to come up with a plan. So let's talk about let's talk about walking. How much do you need to walk your dog? Okay. So a normal dog, a healthy normal dog 9 months and older, 10 months and older, should get 2 half-an-hours exercise per day, 2 times. Don't do it in 1 hour. Break it down to 2 half-an-hours. That's more beneficial, much healthier if you do it that way. So minimum 2 half-an-hour. Maximum, a healthy dog should get 90 minutes of exercise per day. Okay, so the reason I say that is because if you overdo it, you'll create a dog who's going to be over reactive, over active, high energy dog, right? What I mean by that is if you, let's say, give 2 hours to your dog, after 2 hours, your dog is going to say, I need half an hour more. Can you give me half an hour more? I need half an hour more. So you give 2.5 hours. Then after a week, he says, I need half an hour more. I need more, a little bit more. So you start giving 3 hours and it never ends. Your dog learns that it needs to get more and more. You kind of creating the dog that can never slow down and stop and relax. You're creating an over excited dog, right? That can't control its excitement level. So what I suggest you to do is practice on helping your dog to calm down rather than get excited. Sit down with your dog and tell your dog to sit with you for half an hour. See if it's possible. Practice, that should be your goal, just to sit for half an hour and do nothing. See if it's possible. After 5 minutes, they start walking around. If that's happening, that means you need to work on practicing and teaching your puppy or your dog to calm down. So today, maybe sits for 5 minutes, tomorrow, 10 minutes, next day, 15. So practice on calmness rather than excitement. Practice on creating calm activities rather than exercise, high activity exercises. So I will share a video in the chat area. I call it How Long Should I Walk My Dog Every Day? That will give you an idea of how much I give you numbers. At least you can focus on those numbers. Great question. Thank you for being here. Elizabeth Caruso is saying, I hear you. Thank you very much. I was just feeling badly keeping him in the kitchen. I never scold him. You see, feeling bad is a human response. If you're feeling bad, it doesn't mean that it's bad or good for your dog. You have to understand, is this beneficial for my dog? Whether it's making me feel bad or good, is it beneficial for my dog? I feel good when I see my dog running around freely in the woods. I feel good. But when I say, Rover, come, and there's a fox over there or a coyote standing there, and I say, Rover, come, and Rover doesn't come, I get mad, I get sad because it doesn't come. So human feels either good or bad, depending on the situation. So you see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if the dog is having fun or is in danger. Human feels certain way as well, right? So your feelings shouldn't determine what you should do. You want your dog to be free, but you want your dog to be safe as well, right? You want your puppy to have the freedom in the house, but you don't want your dog to break the furniture and damage the house, right? What is the better solution? Don't approach it with your emotions. Approach it with your facts, with your mind. If I off-leash my dog, my puppy in the house is going to go and break and damage the house. So I shouldn't feel bad. I'm creating an environment for my puppy to live in the house. I'm giving it food, shelter, love, affection, toys, walkies, this and that. What else do I need to provide, right? You're providing the best thing that you can, everything that you can. Don't feel bad. Don't get emotional. Use logic. Use facts when it comes to making decisions and choices with your puppy, for your puppy and your dog. Emma Sparks is asking, how do I get my puppy to stop barking at Paul O'Grady show on telly when he sees other dogs? Oh, I don't know who Paul O'Grady is. I gotta make a note of that show. Paul O'Grady show. I'll check it out later. I don't know what show it is, but if your dog is barking at something that is not supposed to, it doesn't matter what the reason is, right? You need to have a plan. You need to have an idea of how to stop that behavior. So if your dog is barking, if your puppy is barking at this show, it's an opportunity for you to teach, learn, and train. Because your puppy can be also barking at other stuff too. So take this opportunity to teach and train your puppy how to stop barking. So I'm going to share a video in my chat area, in the chat area. Just give me a second. It's called How to Stop My Dog's Barking Permanently. Basically, I go through the steps that you need to take in order to help your dog to stop barking. You know your dog, for example, your puppy is going to bark at this show. So don't put your puppy in that situation that practices that unwanted behavior. When you allow your puppy to bark at certain situation, you're allowing your puppy to practice that behavior. It may seem funny in the beginning, but later on it's going to start driving you crazy. So prevent it, manage it, teach it your puppy what to do, what not to do, and how do you want it to manage. What do you want? What is the plan in your head? What is the outcome that you want? You want it not to bark, right? When you're watching this show. So work towards it. Come up with a plan, invest some time in training that behavior that you want. So exactly what I was talking about in the beginning, right? What do you want your puppy to do? You don't want it to bark, right? So if you don't want it to bark, I'm sure there are other behaviors that you need to address as well. So work on all of this. You don't want this and that happen, right? So work on investing some time to train your puppy and come up with a plan. How to stop this, work on it to stop this behavior. You know, join one of my online courses, right? Start learning what to do, what not to do, and come up with a plan. Come up with a plan that you can work and it's realistic for you to work on, right? Don't just let it go and think that it's going to grow out of it. It's not going to grow out of it. It's going to get worse. If your puppy is barking at this show, that's a signal to you that you need to work on your puppy, and it's a signal to you that you need to take advantage of this opportunity and work and train your puppy. Great question. Avijit is saying, thank you so much. You are very welcome, my friend. Cooley Lee. Welcome to the show. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon as well. And also hit the like button as well. Don't forget. Question is, my Jack Russell is 6 weeks old. What treats to give him while I train him? I suggest you not to use treats at all. You know, puppies in general, dogs in general, they are not designed to eat constantly. When you train your puppy, when you use treats to train your puppy, you're helping your dog to develop health issues. Dogs and animals, including humans, are not designed to eat all the time, designed to eat constantly. Whether it's a little piece or a meal, we are not supposed to eat all the time. Humans, unfortunately, have been um, misled and also kind of got used to having breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between, where dogs and animals are not supposed to eat all the time. They eat once. Look at the wild. Look at the wild nature shows when they're showing. They don't eat all the time. They eat maybe every few days. They go and hunt and kill and eat, and they're not eating for a few days because dogs and animals, they need to fast. Humans as well, we need to fast. We need to give break to our system. Whenever you're using treats, you're basically feeding your dog. It doesn't matter if you're giving a little bit of little piece of treat, or you're giving big pieces, or you're giving, after every 10 seconds or after every 10 minutes, or any time you're feeding your dog, you're increasing you're spiking their insulin level, right? So that causes a lot of health issues to develop in future. Many of the health issues that are developing dogs is due to, one, feeding too much, being fed too much, and being fed the wrong food, right? Which is kibble and dry food. People, that's what they use to feed the dogs, right? So don't use treats. New studies have shown, and new studies have proven that dogs, so I'll tell you the story. Dr. Gregory Burns did a research that he took some dogs and took them to an MRI machine and scanned their brain and testing them and offering them two types of rewards. One was food, and the other one was play or praise, right? So they put the dogs in an MRI machine and scanned their brain, and they offered food. And the scan of their brain showed that there were a little bit of activity happening in the brain, right? And then they started offering play and praise. Good boy, good girl. And the brain activity in the dogs went off the chart. It was active like crazy. So that scientifically proves that dogs prefer play and praise more than food. So why are you starting to think about using treats to train your dog? My friend, you're on my channel. I dedicated my channel to teach you and dog lovers like you to become educated dog lovers using play and praise to reward their dogs rather than food or treats or aversive tools or domination or being alpha. Watch my videos, go through my channel. All of my channel's videos are dedicated to teach you to use play and praise rather than food or treats to train your dog, right? Treats and using treats is a marketing scam. Dog food companies have created this marketing idea that if you want to train your dog, you need to use treats. Science tells us no, we don't need to use treats. We need to use play and praise to reward our dogs instead of treats or food. So erase this idea from your mind of using treats. Okay? Let me see if I can share with you the video that I want you to watch, which I actually show you the scientific study that was done by Gregory Berg. So I'm going to call it Science Proves It. Call it Science Proves It, and it's in chat area. please go ahead and watch that and learn how magnificent your dog is, right? Don't mess it up with using treats or food. Hope that helps. Christian Ramos is saying thanks. You are very welcome. Elizabeth Caruso, I asked a somewhat similar question before, but what time should I be putting my 10-month-old putty Timmy in his crate for the night? It all depends on how is your lifestyle. When do you start shutting off your day, right? Is it 9 o'clock? Is it 8 o'clock? An hour before you shut off your day, that's the good time to send your puppy in a crate and let it sleep overnight with you. That would be my suggestion. Emma Sparks saying thank you so very much. You are very welcome. Elizabeth Caruso, and what time should I take him out of crate in the morning? Oh, if your puppy is able to hold overnight, I would say, at least 6 hours. They can sleep for 6 hours. But if they're active during the day, they're playing and eating and all that, every 2 hours to 4 hours, you have to let them out, right? But out of the crate. But during the night, because they're not active and they're sleeping, they can hold at least 6 hours. Right. So after 6 hours, you have to let it out. If you see that your puppy is able to hold longer than 6 hours, 7 hours, that's even great. That's even better. I wish I could sleep for 6, 7 hours. That would be my answer. Rice Boy 5, welcome to the show. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button as well. Hey guys, let's hit that like button. We have 14 viewers at the moment. We only have 11 likes. So let's hit that like button to bring the numbers up and make this revolution in dog training, okay? Okay, so let me answer Rice Boy's question. And I think this would be the last question of the day. How should I transition my 6-month-old puppy from kibble to raw? I hear for an adult dog, going cold turkey by not feeding for 20 hours is ideal. Should I do the same for a puppy? For a puppy, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to let it fast for 24 hours. It's going to be hard. So what I suggest you to do instead is transition slowly. So start with 50-50, 50% the old food, 50% the new raw food. Mix it up together. It's fine. You do that for a day or two, and then start reducing the kibble and adding 75% raw meat and 25% kibble. And then I would say transition within 3 days. It's a good formula. Always watch if your puppy is having diarrhea or upset stomach. That is a sign that, okay, the transition needs to either slow down or can pick up a little bit faster. We can go faster. In my case, my puppy Annie, when she came, she was on kibble, and I switched her right away to raw diet. And for the first week or so, she had soft stool, stinky stool, diarrheas, and even all those kinds of stuff. And that is normal. That's a good sign, actually. I think, not many people focus on that part. I think it's a good sign because, you see, when you're feeding your puppy or your dog kibble or dry food, there's lots of toxins accumulated in your puppy's system, body. So when you start feeding good, clean food like raw diet, those toxins have to come out somehow, right? So they come out in form of diarrhea and vomiting, and maybe even sometimes, skin reaction, you'll see. So those are good signs that, good things are happening. The toxins are coming out and are being replaced with good materials. So I wouldn't worry. Even if you see diarrheas and soft stool, don't panic. Don't think that things are going wrong. It's a good sign. But transitioning a puppy, you can do it slowly and just monitor and just see how it's going. Is your puppy reacting? Is it having diarrheas or not? If it's not having diarrhea and is tolerating, its body is tolerating the new food, I'll go for it 100%. In a way, cold turkey. Yeah. Sorry. Keep banging on this microphone in front of me. So hopefully that helps. Coolie Lee says thank you. And we have one more Julie Smith. Julie Smith. I have a 2-year-old lab who lives with kids, but my sister and her 2 kids have moved into my house and she's been anxious and jumpy. Do you have any idea how I could help her adjust to the change? Yes. In cases like this, I usually suggest, since you can kind of manage and control the kids, you need to work on the dog. So what I would do is, don't feel bad for the next, let's say, 7 days, 5 to 7 days. Keep your dog on a leash when he's in the house and the kids are around. Okay, just keep it on a leash, keep it under control, give that security and that connection. In the beginning, obviously, it's going to be uncomfortable because your dog is on a leash in the house and the kids are around. Tolerate that. First of all, yourself, tolerate it, okay? But let your puppy know that you're helping it, right? Don't be soft and don't be aggressive. If you're soft, oh, it's okay, baby, just kids. That's soft. If you're aggressive, hey, stop being, that's aggressive, right? So these two are very extreme, right, for the dog. Right? It's okay. It's too extreme. The dog, when your dog sees that, feels that, says, "Whoa, you're extreme." So those kids are, I should be reacting to them because you're extreme. You're acting extreme. But if I behave more neutral, let's say, no, stop it. No, it's okay. Don't worry. No, no. That's more neutral. That's more me. That's more you, right? And try to keep your emotions and your reaction to that level, neutral. Don't go to extreme high or low, right? Stay in that neutral tone and mode. So your dog says, those kids are not really affecting you. So, dogs are mirroring our behavior, right? In a way. So if your dog sees and feels that those kids are not affecting you, therefore it's going to say, oh, shouldn't be affecting me either. The reason your dog is reacting because you have this thought in your head. You're saying, I have these 2 kids who have moved in the house and now my dog, she's being anxious. So you're thinking that, you're processing this constantly 24/7 in your head. So your dog is feeling that anxiety, right? So it's responding to you. It's saying, oh, you're anxious, then I'm going to be anxious too, right? So if you are calm, relaxed, and neutral, your dog is going to say, these kids are not big deal. I'll be okay. And believe it or not, you don't have to give treats or food while those kids are hanging around. That's one of the other worst things that you can do. When you start feeding the dog treats or food when the kids are around, let's say, or whatever distractions are around the dog, when you start feeding the dog, your dog, yes, this gets distracted from the kids, but doesn't learn to be calm and relax around kids. It learns that kids equal food. So next time when it sees kids, it's going to expect food. So it's going to look at you and it demand you to have food, to give it food. And in its mind, is going to stress itself, kids equal food, kids equal food, kids equal food. So it's going to expect that. And next time, obviously, you can't give them food all the time. So what's going to happen? You're going to cause stress in your dog. So instead of giving food or treats to the dog when they are calm and relaxed or learning, try to connect with your dog. Try to give them something more natural, your emotions, your interaction with your dog. Maybe play with your dog, interact with your dog in emotional level. Play is more of an emotional connection, emotional reward, right? So if you provide emotional reward rather than physical reward to your dog is going to not only learn faster, it's going to learn this is the way it should be. Kids equal relaxation. Kids equal mom, dad, relax. I'll be relaxed. I'll be having fun too. Not a big deal, right? So focus on those. Okay. Great question. Everybody, thank you for being here. I really enjoyed this session. I enjoyed this bi-weekly session as well. Um, if there is a question in the last second, and you see that I'm not answering it because I just end the broadcast and I don't see it, please go to the comments area and leave that question in the comments area, and I'll read it and I'll answer it. I read all the questions, all the comments, and I'll answer them within 24 hours or so. If you want to join me next time, would be live. It would be Friday, uh, Friday the 15th, yes, at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come and join me then, and let's talk about dogs and let's have fun. And if you have any questions, any issues that you want to deal with your dog, and you have problems and you want to learn more about dogs, make sure to join and register to one of my online courses. These are fantastic courses. These are courses that I worked very hard to create, and these are very unique courses. There's no, I guarantee you, there are no other courses like this. Yes, there are many online dog training courses, but nothing like this. Everybody in the online dog training course uses treats or food or some form of tool to train your dog, to teach you to become an educated dog lover. I use nothing. I use play and praise, affection, mental reward for your dog, interaction. And I teach you all those in my courses. So take advantage. At the moment, I have some sales going on as well because of what is happening around the world, giving some breaks to our dog lovers around the world. So take advantage of that. And I think I mentioned everything and I answered all the questions. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Really, really appreciate your commitment and your willing to become an educated dog lover. And as a dog lover myself, I thank you and I hope you're enjoying the content that I'm providing and being live and providing all this information for you. If you have any question, if you have any comments, any feedback, feel free to let me know. And I'll see you Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you and have fun with your dog.